Hey everybody, this is Perch, and sorry for all the videos in the car. Again, by the way, it's just I don't know. It's the nature of what's going on right now. Of kind of running around getting that last stuff done before the holiday, and then we'll settle into a long length of videos from the home when it's a little bit better audio. At any rate, thank you very much for putting up with all of this. Hey, there's a question I've asked before, and I want to ask it again, but a little bit different. And it's really around, what does it take to get you to come back to a title? And there's a couple different ways to answer this. So first off, there's a situation where, say, look, we can use some real life examples. So Superman, you had Tomasi on Superman. A lot of people collecting that book. You had Bendis come on to Superman. You had people frustrated with that book, and you had some people leave it, kind of swear off Superman. And now you have Philip Kennedy Johnson coming onto the book. If you were one of the people that said, "Damn it, DC, you did it to me. You put Bendis on this. I don't like this decision. I don't like what you did. I'm out." Does Philip Kennedy Johnson coming on the book now cause you to come back in? Are you like, okay, I'm going to give this another chance, or what is that a trigger for you to come back? That the creative team has changed? Because one of the things that Jeff Thorne brought up, which is true, is that it's not like Bendis walked into DC's offices and said, "Well, I'll be taking Superman, and it's mine now," and then he just does it. An editor, a manager, the team selected him for this job. He made a pitch. They said, "We like that pitch. Let's go with it," and that's how he got on the title. And so now, you have Philip Kennedy Johnson coming onto the book. Well, he did a pitch. Some different people. Didio was very much involved in Bendis's hiring. Now Didio's, of course, not there, but still, this same group of managers looked at Johnson's pitch. These were in the same process, if not completely the same people, that said that they liked Bendis's pitch. So, what has changed? We're getting a new creative team, but the decisions that led to that creative team are still the same ones. So are you going to look at this, say I'm in or I'm out, or what would cause you to come back or stay away in a situation like that? But then there's another situation. So here's an interesting one, and it is where, for whatever reason, let's say you're working. Well, here's an example. I know that there are some people who have been advocating for Brett Booth to go on X-Men for a long time. There's this guy Doc who's been pushing that case for over a year. I want to say maybe it's in the hundreds of days. At any rate, he had been putting basically tweeting at Marvel saying put Booth on the title. Booth finally goes on the title. Now there are some people who were blocked by Booth. Either caught up in a block bot or whoever knows why, who knows? I don't know that Booth uses block bots, but anyway, they were blocked, and now Booth's coming on the title. Booth's unblocked some people. And if you were blocked and are now not blocked, and are you excited? Would you now give the title a chance? Do you have the policy of, because people say if they block me, I'm never reading that book, and that's fine. It's your dollars. You spend them however you want. But if the creator unblocks people, and another good example is, who is the creator who unblocked everybody? Like there's been some creators on social media. Gail Simone is an example of somebody who had blocked a lot of people, and then recently, or I don't know about recently, months ago, unblocks a bunch of people. She basically clears it out. And I've heard this from some creators in the past. Like once a year, they unblock everybody again and try it again, and then they block through the year. If you were blocked and then you got unblocked, does that cause you to come back to the title? Or does this even factor into it? I mean, here's the thing I'm kind of getting at is, does it even matter? Like if you're in the comic shop and you look at the cover and you hear the pitch for a book, and you're like, wow, this sounds like a great pitch for the book. Do you check Twitter to see if you're blocked or not before making the purchase? And if you find out you are blocked, does that cause you to put the book back on the shelf? And keep in mind, people always read it. When I ask these questions, people read into it like, oh, you're saying that's bad behavior. No, it's your dollar. You can do whatever you want with it. You should do whatever you want with it. Your reasons. I mean, your reasons for not buying a book are 100% your own, and you don't have to justify them. If you only want to buy books with creators who have the first initials the same as yours, or have the same astrological sign, that's your business. It's your money. It's not my business to say whether that's crazy or not. It's you. And so I think that, and I think that choosing not to support somebody who's actively blocked you is a lot more of a legitimate, beef that you might have, than like astrological signs or crazy stuff like that. But what if this creator, like if you were anti Gail Simone, she blocked you. No, I'm not supporting anything she does. You wake up one day, she's unblocked you. Do you go back to the book? Do you remember, she blocked me once, so never again? I mean, where is that line for you? What causes you to be out? Because kind of what's going through my head here is that, in a lot of cases, the forgetting about the customers and the fans from it, the mechanics of making a comic, you have editors selecting people for a pitch. Sometimes those choices are made fairly arbitrarily. I mean, when I say arbitrarily, I mean you can't always understand the logic. Like the interviews I've done now with Murphy and with Kari Andrews and with Jeff Thorne, you'll notice one common thread in them. Of like, I got picked to be on this book. I was surprised they picked me in some cases to be on this book. I didn't know, I wanted to do this, and I didn't expect it. And they're letting me do it. And there's this, surprise in many cases by the creator that they were put on the book, that they were given the green light to go ahead. And so, it's not like these decisions to staff these books. I want to say this without sounding like completely flippant about it, but it doesn't seem that people aren't sitting around a room making very, very careful plans of who's going on what. In a lot of cases, it's, a mix of some luck and good timing. You just happen to have the pitch in the right place at the right time. Maybe it's, your pitch happens to line up with a bunch of other things going on with the company. Maybe tonally it's different. Maybe you're an editor and you're looking at it and you're going, okay, I'm doing magic and Superman, magic and Wonder Woman, magic and Batman. I need a pitch for Aquaman that is not having magic, because I don't want to have everything in the line be magic based. I mean, there's a lot of things like that. You don't always know what those are. But the selection of creators and the selection of who gets on one book can be very, very random. And so for you now, bringing you as a customer or fan back into the mix, like if you are now not buying things based on some of these other factors, I mean, the two aren't coming together. It's like, for better or worse, the editors are not sitting around going, hey, what's the Q rating of this creator on social media? They're not paying attention to any of that. It's the decisions are much more up in the air. So what do you do? What do what do you as a fan do? How do you make these choices? Because it feels like you can get yourself into a very tangled web of like, I'll collect this and I'll not collect this. And on top of this, by the way, as comic collectors, we're kind of wired, and the industry has taught us this, that, you come in for a run. If you're going to start collecting Iron Man, your goal is to get all the copies of Iron Man. And so if that is your goal, then you're kind of at the whim of whatever creator's coming in and out of that title. Like, maybe you dislike Dan Slott, maybe you like Matt Fraction. I mean, you're going to get both of them on this book. So, are you going to break your collector run or not? And again, this isn't me convincing you of anything. There's no right answer here. It's literally, what are your buying habits? And frankly, what would cause you to come back? Because one of the things that I really appreciate about the Thorne interview, and there's a lot of thoughts I still have in my head with it, is that look at this chain of events. You have this guy, he's on social media, he's making his tweets, he's doing his stuff, as he admitted himself. Admitted is the wrong word, but he said himself, he's outspoken. He'll get in there and throw his stuff out pretty aggressively. He's blocked people, absolutely. And then you have Bleeding Cool post this article about he hates Hal Jordan. And there were tweets saying that he didn't like Hal Jordan, but they were taken slightly, they were taken a little out of context. Bleeding Cool definitely kind of presented that thing to tell a story, which is, hey, longtime comic fans, hey, older white people, Look at this. New Green Lantern writer hates Hal Jordan, huh? That makes you mad. I'll bet it makes you mad, doesn't it? Doesn't it make you mad? Click on this article. That's what they were going for. That is 100% bait. It was 100% bait. And Bleeding Cool in particular loves doing this. They love throwing up topics like, it's why do you think they post like every tweet of Dave Bautista saying Trump is an idiot? Well, nobody cares what Dave Bautista thinks. You certainly don't care on like tweet number 40. Like there's no like there's so many, like every time Dave Bautista says anything about Trump, there's an article on Bleeding Cool about it. And they're doing that not because they support Dave Bautista or not because they particularly hate Trump. They do it for one reason, because they know there's a large number of comic fans who are very passionate, who like Trump, and they will see this article and they'll hate click on it. They'll get angry, they'll share it, and it drives their attention. They go down to the comments and be like, screw David Bautista. And that's why they do it. They're not doing it to provide any good. They're doing it to provide clicks. So anyway, Thorne, these tweets get represented in this article. It's definitely geared to poke people. It is successful because people on social media start talking about, screw this guy. And then Thorne comes on, he does the interview with me. He's like, first of all, you're going to get Hal Jordan is going to have a good story. He's going to be, he's going to have a good arc. We're not going to screw him, Now he could be lying. We pick up the first issue and I made the joke in the video, like Hal Jordan becomes a eunuch and they just screw with him at every opportunity. But I have my doubts. Let's just put it that way, for a lot of reasons. The least of which is they don't want to blow up Hal Jordan. A DC doesn't. But regardless, he's like, so number one, that's not going to happen. Number two, I can have personal opinions about things, but when I'm hired to do a job, it's my job to create a sellable, strong selling story. And, so we're not going to drag Hal Jordan. And I mean, a very basic answer. And there are people who listen to that interview are like, wow, it was clearly an overblown controversy. And now hearing this in context, I'm curious to see what he has to do, which is the right response. Not I'm absolutely going to buy everything, or I hate him. It's I'm gonna check out the comic and see for myself, and if I like it, I'll keep buying it. If not, I won't. And but I know there's still people out there, because I've heard from them, who say, nope, absolutely not. He said this on Twitter, and I will never support him again, ever, 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 never. And what would change that? What do you need from DC or the writer? And I'm using him as an example, but there's lots of people who fit into this. What do you need as a fan to say, all right, I'm going to overlook whatever beef I had with this person, and I'm going to check out the comic. Not necessarily buy everything they do. It's not an extreme like that. Not I'm going to follow them forever, but just I'm going to take them off of my block list, and I'm going to actually, see if I like the comic. What would it take? Is it being unblocked? Is it interviews like the one that I did with Jeff? Do you need an apology? Do you need DC to post a picture like of Hal Jordan, like getting it on with Star Sapphire and having clearly a good time and there's no problems? And that's what is it? What would cause you to go, all right, I'm going to see what this comic book's about, and I'm going to take it out of whether I like this creator or not, and I'm going to see what the comic has to say. What would it take? And again, don't read into this video that I'm trying to say, hey, you're stupid for making these stances or anything else. Not a bit. Again, the last time, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. It is your money. You spend it where you like it. One person gets to determine how you spend your money, you, and there's no right or wrong answer there. You get my question just is, what causes you to change some of your spending behavior? What causes you to go, okay, I wasn't going to buy it, but now I will, I'll buy it, or I'll consider it. Or is it I'm done and I'm done forever? What do we got here? I'm just curious to hear what you have to say. Hey, let me know in the comments below. That's the dialogue I'm trying to create. If I was in a comic store with you right now, that would be the question I'd have for you. We'd have a good talk about it. It would be all very good. I'd be drinking beer. Probably I wouldn't be drinking beer. Not while at work. That's crazy. Anyway, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications if you like to be bothered by that kind of thing. Totally up to you. And yeah, thanks for listening.